What's up, guys? Thank you for joining me. This is Coach Vassar as we do the OTF Audio Daily Beats. As always, if you're new, thank you for tuning in. Listen to me talk about these Orange Theory workouts. If you find value in them, information is in the description on how to support me. If you don't find value in them, let me know why and how I can help you. Otherwise, thank you for tuning in. And we're going to talk about Wednesday, November 13th. And this will also repeat on Thursday, November 28th. Happy Thanksgiving for all y'all. Now, this is a ESP 30-30 workout, but in the template, there's actually no strength component. So just be aware of that. So if you tell people like, hey, you got an ESP workout today, well, there's no hill work on the treads, there's no strength-based rowing, there's no strength rep ranges. So it's more of like a EP day. So just throwing that out there. So key concepts for today, we're gonna see 2 blocks on the treads. First, we're gonna build endurance, then power. Each block has 3 builds. Increase in intensity through each build. For the rower, there is 1 600-meter row to start block 1. And then on the floor, we're gonna mix endurance and power in a work and rest on the floor. First, challenge a muscle group with high rep loaded exercises, then hit it again with explosive power. So when we look at the treads, kind of go over that first. A couple things you're gonna notice, as I mentioned, there's 3 builds within block 1 for 13 minutes, and then block 2, also 3 builds. What we're gonna see here is in block 1, it's gonna be start at base, build your way to an all out. So build 1, 2-minute base, 2-minute push, 30-second all out, and the goal here is to maintain or increase the push intensities. Walk recovery is gonna be 75 seconds. Then the base and the push both decrease. So 90 push, 90 base, 30-second all out. They'll hit that 75 walk recovery again, and then 1-minute base, 1-minute push, 30-second all out. So a couple ways to kind of look at this to increase that push intensity. Power walkers, they start at 5% incline for that 2-minute push. For the 90-second, maybe it says 5% or greater on the template, so maybe coach them to go 6% or more. And then for the 1 minute, go up again, maybe 7% or more. For the joggers and runners, for that 2-minute push, maybe they are starting between 1 to 1.5 over their base, and then can they add 0.1 to 0.3 when they hit that 90 seconds, and then add another 0.1 to 0.3 when they tackle the 1-minute push. Starting off the block with that 2-minute base is great because it's an extended warm-up for the people who start on the treads, and then for the people who start on the rower weight floor, that gives them those extra 2 minutes to really prime the body before they go into the higher intensity work. When they go to builds 2 and builds 3, they are coming off that 75-second walk recovery into base. So, between the end of build 1, they have the walk recovery, and then the base for build 2. Really, it's almost 3 minutes of recovery work before they hit that 90-second push. So they should feel pretty good going into that 90-second push. And then very similar for the third build, between the 75 walk recovery, the 1 minute at base, that's just over 2 minutes of lower intensity work before they tackle a 1-minute push into a 30-second all out. So performance should be very manageable, and you should see good responses in terms of increases to hit that goal for the members. When it comes to block 2, very similar idea where the 2 efforts before the all out will match up in time and decrease round to round, but the starting point is at a higher intensity compared to block 1. So for build 1 in the power block, they're going to start with a 1-minute push into a 1-minute push all out, then a 30-second all out. And here the focus is on maintaining or increasing the all out intensity. So a couple ways to kind of get members set up for this is, they did a 1-minute push in block 1 during build 3. Maybe they could start with that for like the more aggressive people. And then, whatever their all out was, that push all out is probably gonna be something in between it. So just, random numbers. Maybe their 1-minute push was 7, and then their 30-second all out was 8. So maybe they hit 7 for that 1-minute push, 7.5 for that push all out, and then 8 for the 30-second all out. That's one way to do it. Just kind of split the difference to get that middle effort. Power walkers, for that 1 minute push all out, it's between 6 to 10%. And then when we look at the walk recovery, they have 75 seconds to catch their breath, just like in block 1. Build 2, it's going to be 45 seconds for the push and 45 seconds for the push all out, and then a 30-second all out. The power walkers are technically starting at a higher incline, so they have an 8% or greater for that 45 push, and then anywhere from 8 to 10 for the push all out, and of course the all out. The priority is the all out efforts though. So if people want to match their push and their push all out from before, that's honestly fine, because prioritize the maximum effort from the all out, and then they could take advantage of that walk recovery on the other side. The third build, 30, 30, 30. So 30 push all out, and finish with their best all out of the day, because hopefully they've been able to at least maintain, if not increase. And that's going to be the 2 blocks on the treadmills. When it comes to the rower and the weight floor, there's only one row, 600 meters at the start. Same thing, treat that as an extended warm-up for the members. So it's a 600 meter push row. They should hopefully kind of hit like high green, probably about 200 to 300 meters into the row. And then probably during the last 100 to 200 meters is when they kind of dip into that orange. When they finish that row, should leave them a little breathy. They can wipe it down and they can head right to the weight floor. If they have to sit there and recover a little bit, that probably wasn't a push. They probably went a little too hard at the end, but hey, good news, it was just the one row, they're done. Block 1 for the floor itself, work and rest. You're gonna do supersets of like similar muscle groups. We're gonna have closed grip chest press, 16 to 20 reps. That's a very high rep count, relatively lightweight. It's gonna be like a true chest and tricep and shoulder burnout. They will rest, and then they go to the bench power push-up for 4 to 8 reps. So those muscles are pre-fatigued. It's gonna make that explosive work that much harder. If they could get 8 reps, no problem. Either they need to be way more explosive, or they need to possibly pre-fatigue the muscle a little bit more with that closed grip chest press going a little bit heavier. Once they've done those 2 upper body movements, then they will do very similar movement with a goblet bench tap squat, and that's gonna be paired up with the bodyweight bench tap squat jump. So same idea, pre-fatigue the legs with high reps for squats, and then be explosive for the squat jumps. They'll rest, and then repeat that again. In terms of time, that 600 meter push row, a lot of people is gonna be, anywhere from about 2 to 3.5 minutes. So that's gonna give people about 9 to 10 minutes for that work and rest. So they'll probably get at least 2 rounds through, maybe a third one. So definitely that first round, and have people start a little bit more on the conservative side, especially for that higher rep stuff for the closed grip chest press and the tap squat. And then when they come back around, either they need to slow down on those movements or go up in weight. And then think about being explosive on the power exercises. Block 2 is going to be very similar setup with the focus on, superset movement patterns, muscle groups, whatever you want to call it. We're going to see a sumo deadlift paired up with the hip hinge swing, same rep scheme. So 16 to 20 for the sumo deadlift, rest, 4 to 8 reps for the hip hinge swing, rest. Then they're going to do a bicycle crunch, which obviously going to target more of the obliques, into the high plank wide step with power. So from that plank position, one foot's going to come up by the hand, and then they're trying to jump and switch their legs. So very explosive, movement through the lower body and the core, as they have to keep those hips and core stable and strong to protect the lower back. 8.5 minutes here. Just like before, they'll probably get at least 2 rounds in, and then the finisher is any of the 4 power movements for 30 seconds. So here, they'll probably get about 6 to 10 reps, and they might have to take small breaks to kind of keep that power intensity. So just be aware of that. And that's a good heads up of coaching with empathy, but also for the members that need that push, have them not quit on themselves. So that's the 2G right there. When we look at the 3G, same idea. We're gonna have 2 blocks on the treads. Rower is gonna have 2 blocks and then weight floor is one very long block for 14 minutes. The tread blocks, just like the 2G, block 1 is going to be endurance. They have 9 minutes here. It's going to be 2 builds. The first build is a 2-minute push, 2-minute base, 2-minute push, 30-second all out. They only have 1 minute to recover for that walk recovery. Then they will repeat build 2 from the 2G, so 90 base, 90 push, 30-second all out. Same goal of maintaining or increasing that push intensity, and then they should at least maintain the all out on the other side as well. When we look at block 2, now they shift the focus to power, and they're going to start with the second build from the 2G, so 45 push all out, 30 all out. Same 1 minute walk recovery, and then the 30-30-30 build for that 4.5 minute block. When it comes to the rower, they are going to do a 1,000 meter row, but they're only going to row for 45 seconds at a time. So use that 1,000 meter countdown. They take off with the treads after 45 seconds. Have the rowers rack their handles. They'll perform 12 step out squats. Between getting off the rower, getting back on, that's probably going to take most people about 30 to 45 seconds. So once they get back on the rower, make sure they look at their clock. They're going to time themselves for the next 45 seconds. 45 seconds is enough time for most people to get about 150 to 200 meters. So they're probably going to get about 5 or 6 rounds to complete their 1,000 meters here. If they finish all 1,000, tap new interval, row for distance until time is called. That's block 1. Block 2, it's a power build, and it's going to be timed up the treads. So they'll start with the push all out, then an all out effort row, recovery row, and then repeat that build. And the goal here is to steadily increase their wattage, and then of course maintain or increase their all out intensity. The weight floor is going to be the same work and rest scheme as we saw in the 2G. So same setups with the paired movements. Close grip chest press paired with a power push-up. Sumo deadlift with a hip hinge swing. Bicycle crunch with a wide step with power. So they're getting rid of the squat and the jump squat for the 3G. So it's kind of nice. So it's 2 less movements that you have to demo. Same finisher choice where it's any of the power exercises. So between the push-up, swing, or the wide step with power. And that's the 3G. Be explosive on these movements. If people need to catch their breath on the weight floor, good job, they're doing it right. If they could just fly through it, that might be a time to have that off-mic conversation with them of like, are you lifting heavy enough to elicit that required rest? Are you being explosive enough to require that rest? Same thing for the treads, especially that power block. If they don't need that 1 minute walk recovery or that 75-second walk recovery, was that really an all out for them for that day, right? Everyone has their own intentions when they come into that workout. So of course, coach with empathy for that, but for the people who are there to perform, challenge them on that. That's all I got for you. As always, feedback, let me know. Otherwise, coach it down.